guys.
Hey guys.
We're back this time reviewing the series premiere of Preacher. If you haven't seen it yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. Alright, the series premiere of Preacher was radically different from the comics, but as far as tone and everything, I think it pretty much nailed it. I really enjoyed the episode.
I did too. I like that it's more inspired by the comics as opposed to a TV show adaptation of the comics.
Yeah.
There are a lot of adaptations, like Outcast that we did earlier. That was the comic.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, for the most part, is the comic. But we also watch iZombie, and that's just inspired by the comic. That has almost nothing to do with the comic. This is kind of in between those two.
Yeah, I would call it more a reimagination of the Preacher comics on television than an adaptation, because it's like the general idea is there, but there's some new characters and the story seems like it's going to be going in a pretty different direction so far. But I really enjoyed it, and there was quite a bit of that Seth Rogen humor in it, like with the exploding religious people. I mean, that is totally a Seth Rogen thing.
Yes, and that was hilarious.
You could just see that one day he poked his head in the writer's room and said, "Hey, I want our Preacher to blow up." and it said, "Okay, we'll make it the opening scene. That's awesome. Thank you, Seth." And we got introduced to, I think, all of the major characters. We met Jesse, of course. He's the main character. We met Cassidy. We met Tulip, and we met Arseface.
Yes.
So that's kind of like everybody from the comics. And they were introduced over a little bit of time in the comics, so we got them all here in the pilot.
Yeah. Which is one of the differences. Like, all the characters are basically the same, but they were introduced way early.
I'll be interested to see if the overall story follows the comic at all. Just judging from the pilot, it doesn't seem like it's going to. I don't want to give away what the overarching story is in the comic. If you've read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But just my vibe from the first episode is it seems like it's going to be a different story, which I'm fine with, especially you're just judging from the pilot. It looks like it's going to be super entertaining.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's way funnier than the comic.
Yeah.
The comic has its funny moments, but the show was, the premiere was way funnier.
Yeah, the comics, it's got its funny moments, but it's more dark. This was a little bit lighter.
I definitely have a favorite scene from the premiere. What was your favorite scene?
I don't have a favorite scene.
You don't have a favorite scene?
No.
I think my favorite scene was Tulip building the bazooka with the kids.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
I
like that they're doing arts and crafts, and she's like, and that's how you build a bazooka.
It's like made out of like cans.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I really like this version of Tulip. I think she's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
One thing that did throw me off a little bit near the end was the effect of in the comics it's called the Genesis. They didn't actually call it that in the show, but that's what it is. The effect of Genesis entering Jesse, it was a different effect from the other religious people. So I wonder why that is. Is it, because it was just kind of this clear floating blob going toward Jesse very slowly. And so is there some kind of, awareness that Jesse is the one? That it's been searching for religious people to give this power to. And does it know that Jesse will definitely be able to handle it? So it was more of a slow, okay, this is. It felt secure in giving Jesse that power.
We really only saw one other one, and that was the one in the very beginning. All the other ones were just kind of mentioned sporadically throughout the episode. So, I mean, I guess theoretically they could have all been different. Like, maybe it kept trying different approaches, and it was like, well, coming at him like a comet didn't work.
So let's talk about the Genesis power. Basically, if Jesse tells you to do something, you're going to do it, and you're going to take it super literally.
Yes.
So he tells one of his parishioners who's had troubles with his mom who lives down here in Florida, because that's where elderly moms go.
Yes.
He says, you have to tell her the truth and open your heart to her. So he flies down to Florida, tells her the truth, and then cuts his own heart out and gives it to her. So, yeah, that is, first of all, totally a Seth Rogen thing, but totally in line with Preacher, especially if you know Jesse told a certain sheriff to go do something, and then
Yeah.
he went and did it.
I have a feeling that's not going to make it into the show. So
I don't
you should
think it
probably
is.
read the comics, because
Yeah.
this little bit, that it happens pretty soon in the comics, and it's hilarious.
It's so awesome.
So funny.
I like Arseface in the show.
Yes, they
Arseface
did
is
a
awesome.
fantastic job with him.
Yeah. He's the person with the mouth KVNE.
Yeah, they kind of alluded to his backstory with him talking to Jesse, saying, you know, I don't think God can forgive me. I think he's mad at me for what I did. But they didn't actually give the backstory, so I'm really hoping that they do, because I'd like everybody to know why his face looks like that.
Yeah. Arseface is an awesome character in the
Yeah.
comics. I think he might be my second favorite character in the comics, and the translation of Arseface to the screen worked perfectly.
Yeah, if I was worried about any character's translation onto the screen, it would be Arseface, and
Yeah.
they nailed it.
Yeah. One thing I really hope they do, and without giving away any spoilers, I'm just going to say Saint of Killers. I really hope we get that in the show. And I think that's pretty much it for this review. If you caught something that we missed, let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, and we really hope you did, be sure to tell us by dropping a like on it and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.